Welcome to St. Moritz in Switzerland. High in the Alps, 1,750 meters above sea level in the Engadine Valley. They've been sliding down from St. Moritz-Celerina for over a century. And once more, the oldest, fastest and greatest natural track in the world is back in action. We're heading into the second deciding heat, race 5 of the Wiesmann FIBT Skeleton Women's World Cup. Martin Haven and alongside me, Ben Sanford in the booth. And Ben, after an entertaining first heat, we've got a wonderfully poised race.
We do really exciting race here in St. Moritz. Such a wonderful track to slide on, and it's a close race.
500s cover the top 3. Laura Dees, one of the fastest starters, trained really strongly, lies in 3rd place. A blink of an eye separates the top 3. Our World Cup leader is German Tina Hermann. She is yet to win a World Cup race. Could today be the day? She looked in great form there.
She really did, like nice, smooth sliding, relaxed on the sled, no mistakes, just making it look easy.
And if any of our top 3 win, we will have a first-time World Cup winner, because the race leader after the first heat is Austria's Janine Flock, the reigning European champion. This could be her biggest day in World Cup racing if she can put in another stellar performance. Well, it's not just those 3 that we're looking to for the medals. 500s cover the top 3, but behind them, Elizabeth Vache, a race winner, down to Lizzie Yarnold, also a race winner twice this season, could be in the medals. Lynette Prediger, Jane Channel. Look at the Canadians, 4th, 5th and 6th with no funding. That's impressive stuff. Lots of ties down the order as well. Rose McGrandle, Sophia Grieber tied for 10th place. 14th tie to Takako Umakai and Lelda Prejolena, and a tie down for 16th position as well. Savannah Grable of the USA and Yelena Nikitina of Russia. Annie O'Shea of the USA joins Jacqueline Narakot and Svetlana Vassilieva on the sidelines. The fastest 20 from Heat 1 go through into our second and deciding heat. Both runs will count, and the smallest aggregate time will be the race winner. We've got a fantastic track. Conditions could hardly be any better. Ben Sanford, what is the magic of this place?
It's the home of sliding, and everyone in the sliding sports knows that. You come here, you feel the history, the Cresta slide. The Cresta run is just over the road from the Bob and Skeleton track. The track is the only natural track in the world, and it's so unique to slide on. It's so quiet, it's so smooth, it just feels fantastic.
We will go 20 down to 1 from our first heat performances. Marina Giardoni was in 20th place off the fastest start, a new track record for the Swiss girl. And last on the ice will be Janine Flock. She'll be coming down 1,600 meters of ice over a mile at 80 miles an hour, trying to defend a lead of 0.04 of a second over Tina Hermann of Germany. So any adjustment she makes now to her sled and drive could be vital. Beautiful St. Moritz in Switzerland. Picturesque, historic, fastest, longest, most glamorous of all the tracks. And it's Marina Giardoni of Switzerland. Started fastest in our first heat, first on the ice then. She's first on the ice in the second and deciding heat, only 20th in the first run. Martin Haven, Ben Sanford watching the action with you trackside on a Swiss-built Hoover sled. Little toe drag, that scratch into the first corner, and yet another faster start from Marina.
Marina's so fast at the start, such a good athlete. Really gets the legs turning over quickly at the start. She's just broken her own track record there.
And of course the track is built naturally every year once the ice freezes and the snow is there, to be subtly different every year, as every handmade object is, so the track records are established anew every single season.
Looking much better in the second heat. Nice and smooth through the top of the track.
Well, she knows she really hit herself down in the first run. Big hit on the wall in telephone.
That was her problem in the first run as well. She had an issue going around horseshoe there. Same sort of problem as in the first heat.
Well, 2 kilometers an hour is quicker. One of the unique things, and one of the many unique things about this track, is that it gets faster as the day gets warmer. Other ice deteriorates. This ice gets less frosty and a little more slick. 1:38, again, faster than her first heat. But then she was only 20th in the field at 23, so that might not be that hard. 0.6 of a second quicker, 1:11.20 to a 1:11.82 in the first run. Well, it was a better run, Ben. Apart from the exit of the horseshoe, she looked a lot tidier.
Yeah, faster at the start, better run, but again, she has this problem in the exit of horseshoe. She's trying to pull it down there with her foot and get the sled off the corner, but whether she started that stair too early or too late, or she's not doing enough, the angle that she gets just isn't right, and she hits there before telephone.
Our former junior world champion in women's bobsledding. Big smile from her. Eiko Nakayama of Japan, the oldest woman in the field, 44 years old, from Nagano. Again, we thought that she was going to retire after Sochi, but she just cannot stay away. And on a day like today, she can produce a slide worthy of her experience.
Yeah, good to see Eiko in the top 20 after the first heat.
A 10th faster than Maria Giordani in the slide with a Richard Bradley built sled.
Really important to be smooth through the top part of the track. Really long straights. You want to stay in the middle of the straight, not move too much. Just let the sled build momentum.
We gave away 4,500 to the fastest starter, Marina Giordani, so any advantage from the first run is long gone.
Another unique feature of this track is instead of the corners being numbered, they're all named. Sliding around Sunny, Internash, Dixon.
Ash and Dixon, two members of St. Moritz Bob Club who won gold in the two-man in Eagles 64. Out of horseshoe into telephone.
Flopping off the end of telephone, low line and horseshoe.
Through the big left at Devil's Dyke. Through Nameless, and then the faster corner start, Tree and Bridge. And Leap, and then the Gunter Sachs curve. And by this time, you're over 80 miles an hour.
You come out of Gunter Sachs and all you see is a world of white. The track is white, the countryside is white. Sometimes it's a guessing game to know where you are on the track.
A 10th ahead of Marina Giordani in the first heat. That comes down in aggregate to just 0.04 of a second. And she squeezed in front just almost literally as she dipped to the line.
Bit of a rough hit there into the pads at the end of the track.
Yep. But she has the lead of the race momentarily from Marina Giordani of Switzerland.
This looks like the exit of Tree. Just a little bit long on the corner. Sorry, that's the exit of Telephone.
Yep.
A little bit long on the corner and coming into Shamrock.
Big smile is always there for Eiko Nakayama. Third of our starters, Maria Oliver. A couple of the Russian girls finding themselves very much at the wrong end of proceedings. Svetlana Vasilieva didn't even make the top 20. Maria Oliver, a winner just 2 weeks ago in Altenburg.
Maria's a good slider, looking nice and relaxed at the moment. Keeping the sled in the middle of the track, just allowing the sled to run. The ball here is a long 3 pressure corner. Just want to time the steer on the exit. It's working a little bit too much there in the straight between the end of wall and the snake curves.
Such a contrast on this track compared to the last two we've been at Altenburg and Koenigsee, which are super busy drivers' tracks. Yeah, you've got to meditate your way down. Oh!
That sort of hit on the exit of horseshoe, it hurts and it's going to cost you time.
93 kilometres now compares to 97 of our leader, and so her half-second lead is now down to 2/10 and dropping.
And this is where she's going to lose more time.
The scratching noises, the toes steering the sled. And of course, every time you drag, you slow down. 1:28.5, she drops down the order. And this will leave her behind Marina Giordani, last in the field. A race winner in Altenburg 2 weeks ago. Her teammate Yelena Nikitina, who comes next, was in the bronze medal position behind Oliver. Wow, how much a change of track is a change of fortunes. The Russians barely scraping into the top 20 at all.
And Eiko in the leader's box, looking happy to pick up a few more spots. Exit a horseshoe here. The end of the corner, forcing her across, straight into the wall. That's a nasty hit there.
Not feeling the love at all here, the Russians. Yelena Nikitina, bronze medalist in Altenburg 2 weeks ago, and only tied for 16th here in St. Moritz. A young Russian sensation, third fastest starter, but the moment she lay down Ben Sanford, this St. Moritz track didn't seem to do her any favours.
Another good start from her. Very good athlete. She's looking, you see her eyes looking to where she wants to take the sled, trying to get it early into the first long corner here.
Little choppy toe taps there. We saw the Germans doing that several years ago really extensively in that first straight to avoid the big long drag.
Yeah, the longer you drag your toes, the more it's going to cost you, but also the harder you hit the ice with your toes, it's going to cost you time as well. So it's a balance between dragging them a long time or stabbing them quite sharply.
9/10 up on Eiko Nakayama. Surely she's got to hold on from here. Hits the wall in telephone.
Again, another athlete with the height just too far around in horseshoe.
And it's cost her in terms of speed. 2 kilometres now down on Nakayama. She's lost 3/10 already. Now we're getting into the really fast section, over 80 miles an hour. Nakayama, 1:32. She's 3 kilometres an hour down.
She might have enough time here.
4/10. If she doesn't hit the wall, she'll be in the lead, but not by much. 1:11.26, exactly the same time as Eiko Nakayama on this run, so that 1700s advance is only a carryover from the first heat. Nevertheless, she is in position number 1, but still with 16 to go. Not much to send a postcard home about.
Really high in the middle of horseshoe. Just probably gets that exit steer a little bit wrong and takes it into the left-hand wall. It's hard when you hit that wall to recover in the quick telephone corner. You really need to get it back online as quickly as you want to lose as little time as possible.
Big hug from Eiko Nakayama as Yelena Nikitina takes the lead. Next up, Savannah Grable of the USA. Tied with Nikitina for 16th spot. Difference between them, Nikitina started the first heat 5:18, Savannah 5:42.
Yeah, Savannah's going to rely on her drive here to get it back into the first place.
Ooh,
and hitting and skidding, she's going to hit again.
She had a very skiddy straight last time. Ben, this must feel like a mile of flat ice where you can't control it.
Yeah, it's so frustrating at the top of the track when it's not going, when the sled's not going in the direction that you want and you're touching walls. It's so hard to get it back online because you're going so slow. The sled just doesn't respond as quickly as you want it to.
Through sunny corner, 8/10 back.
Nice line out of horseshoe, nice and clean.
98.1, great speed.
Steering quite a lot, but not looking all that comfortable with her lines.
She's got the slightly legs akimbo stance that we've seen from a couple of US sliders before. That allows them to use their knees a little bit more on the sled. 1:33.2 top speed. Will she catch Nikitina for the lead? Will Katie Ulender slide of styling and sliding, and she gets the lead. 1:11.2, so she holds her spot, at least 16th place finish.
Yeah, she's done well there to maintain her position. Difficult top of the track, and the bottom of the track was much better, and she's been able to hold her spot, and that's well done. This is the kink corner at the top of the track, and she just hits right at the end of it, just basically goes straight up and hits the wall.
Did the same in the first heat, but pinballed all the way down the straight. This time much better. She has the lead from Yelena Nikitina of Russia. 15 sleds still to come here. Race 5 of the Wiesmann FIBT Women's Skeleton World Cup in St. Moritz, Switzerland. Takako Umokai, the younger of the 2 Japanese sliders, next on the ice. She has a 300th of a second lead from the first heat over Savannah Grable of the USA, who's our current leader. Martin Haven, Ben Sanford watching the action, and Ben gets nicely through the first corner with barely a touch on the wall.
Yeah, she does them very close to the right-hand wall. She goes down into the second kink. Steers it a little bit as she goes around the second kink to keep it in the middle of the track.
Now we are first at the moment.
2200s up, only 300s from the first heat.
Through the 2 snake curves. into the nice feeling sunny corner where the pressure just comes on so evenly.
On a Bromley sled, got a very different sound to anything else, these Bromley sleds.
Low line and horseshoe, but she makes it work for her and gets off telephone.
And look at the lead, it is growing out to 0.6 of a second.
Nice smooth run so far.
Now, can she get big speed down at the bottom? These 4 right-hand corners absolutely flying off the Gunter Sachs curve. 133s, 134 kilometers an hour, 132.1, so drifting away a little speed as she whistles past the camera. She'll have the lead by a half second, no, 0.4, 1:10.82. Big smile from Savannah Grable.
Nice run from Takako.
She moves into the leader's box. We still have 14 sleds to come.
Low line and horseshoe. A good meter there from her to the roof. But gets it off horseshoe, gets it into telephone smoothly.
Didn't really gain much off horseshoe, but she has the lead for Japan. 14 still to come. Lauda Pregelena of Latvia was tied with Takako Umakai, our current leader, after the first heat. Young Latvian slider.
Gestartet,
21-year-old from Sigulda. Trains at the track with the Ducours brothers. 5:33 getaway.
Looking nice and relaxed, just moving around now a little bit and just skirting back and forwards. Trying to keep the sled going in a straight line and allowing the sled to run.
Started 200 slower than Takako Umakai, and that's the difference between them at the first clock.
You can hear how smooth the track is and how nice it is for the athletes to slide on this type of ice.
Through Nash and Dixon, down to horseshoe. Nice high line, smooth exit required. Telephone, Shamrock, then the run down into the big left at Devil's Dyke. 97.5 is decent speed.
This is where you start to pick up a lot of speed in the track. This gets faster and faster here.
So close, tied to the 100 with Umakai in the first heat. Barely a hair's breadth between them here. 132.1 for the Japanese, 132.1 for the Latvian girl. Are they going to be tied again? Only 200s in it at the last clock. 200s in it. Umakai has the advantage. They split by 200ths of a second after 2 and a bit miles of ice.
It was a nice run by Lauda. Really close sliding.
2 different athletes with different physiques, different starts, different sleds, different techniques, all but inseparable.
You can see the sled it's bouncing around a little bit in the groove there. It's one of the features of this track as well. Because the ice is natural, the top of the track gets a little bit cut up with the athletes in training, with the bobsleds also, and so it bounces around a little bit in the groove, but the grooves are nice and deep, so it goes in a straight line.
You can dig them in deep, you never get to concrete here. Joske Leconte, 13th place after the first heat, building on her best ever World Cup result last week in Koenigsegg, Bavaria. First top 10 finish for her, she was just ecstatic. But Ben Sanford bringing a brand new sled to a track that changes every year, it's going to leave you a little bit more of a guess as to what works well.
Yeah, absolutely, but Joske seems to be really doing well on this sled. She only had 4 runs on it last week before she raced, and this week again in training she's been doing pretty well. 13th after the first run, and looking good so far.
A little bit of snow falling off the branches of the trees, not too much to worry about dropping into the track.
Nice line through Nash Dixon. The corner's too long.
Oh, Chimpy's dragging on the ice, but she wasn't steering at all. She got the line on right. This is another close run, 97.5, exactly tied with Umakai and Pregelena on speed.
It's going to be really close at the bottom.
It's got that Bromley whistle. 132.1, 133.3. Here we go. She's going to take the lead away. Unless she hits the wall, she will have the lead of the race by 900ths of a second.
Well done, Joske.
Yeah. 7/10 of a second quicker than her first heat.
It's really good to see Joska doing well. She's been around sliding for a long time. I don't know if this is her last season, if she's going to carry on, but...
Well, if the confidence bubble continues to boost her up the order, maybe not.
In horseshoe, using her left toe, starts steering a bit too soon, but she carries on steering and holds that stare and stares it out. And unlike the first heat where she hit on the exit of horseshoe, she doesn't hit here and gets a clean entrance into telephone, and that's allowed her to build speed further on down the track.
Joska Leconte of the Netherlands, our race leader, with 12 sleds still to come. Maria Mazalou of Romania, 23-year-old from Romania, 6th fastest of our starters, ended up in 12th position. A top 10 here would be by far her best ever World Cup result, and she's not far away.
Yeah, really good to see Maria enjoying her sliding here in St. Moritz and doing well.
And like Joska Leconte last week, what a big boost to the confidence and thus to the performance a great result here would be.
Absolutely. So important for your confidence to be sliding well and doing well, and the better you do, the more confidence you have, and that flows on into the next race after that. Late entrance in the snake curves, though.
First start was 5:25, second 5:33, nearly a 10th of a second slower, so maybe she was just being a little bit more careful about her run into the first turn. Nice looking lines so far.
Nice and high horseshoe, nice exit. She's lost a bit of time in the top of the track, though. Can she gain it back?
Lost a little bit of speed as well. We saw below horseshoe in the first run, the speed was ebbing away.
Can she find some speed here?
Such a different sound from all these sliders. You don't get that grumble of an ice track. 1:31.9, not as quick as Joska Leconte. She won't pick up the spot from the Dutch girl. She's going to drop 2 or 3 spots into 4th position. Leconte stays in the leader's box. Little shame for the Romanians.
Marius, the coach, not looking all that happy.
Well, you don't want to lose places in the first heat, but overall, if she finishes top 15 here in St. Moritz, I think she might be quite happy with that. She showed she's got great potential.
High line and horseshoe, gets the steer out right. Nice flowing line into telephone. Just leaning away from the entrance of the corner.
Dorin Veliku with her. She looks a little downcast. It's Joska Leconte who leads with 10 sleds still to come here in St. Moritz. Well, the top 10 sleds are, in fact, 11 here in St. Moritz. We had a tie for 10th place, and they don't split them before the break. So we've had 9 down, 11 to go. See the shades there that protect the track, the natural track from the sun. If you wonder why there are so many zigzagging lines, the one coming down closest to the camera is the bobsleigh track. The one going across the top, that is the Cresta run that starts alongside us on the hill here and also travels all the way down from St. Moritz to Celerina. The St. Moritz Bobsleigh Club was founded in 1897 with the Cresta run, and they created their own bobsleigh track in 1904. It was hand-built for the first time, and Ben, 110 years later, the same technique: shovel, snow, water.
Yeah, it's fantastic to come to St. Moritz and see that history, feel that history. The track is still the same, they still build it the same way, and it's an incredible place to slide.
Don Parsons, Ed Smith, who raced in the men's race down there with the development drivers from British Skeleton. With the white hair you saw, Mark Wood, MBE, the man responsible for the training of Olympic champion Amy Williams, Olympic champion Lizzie Yarnold, and so many more over the years, recognised in the Queen's New Year's Honours list. And bringing all these kids who are still in the early stages of their development career to a World Cup race, to St. Moritz, which is the holy grail of sliders and has such a reputation. Just all that experience, Ben, you know, it means the first time you come here to race at the top level, you'll be, okay, yeah, I can deal with this, I've seen this, I know what it's all about.
Yeah, it's really important when you're a development athlete to understand what's going on in the World Cup. It's a little bit different from the lower circuits. There's television, there's press, there's more pressure. You know, the schedule is slightly different, and so to understand that before you actually get there to compete, that's a really big thing. It really helps out long term.
Zigging, zagging down the hill there, you see there's a natural luge run. Skiing all around us here. This is a winter sport haven. St. Moritz in Switzerland, 11 sleds to go in our top 10 because we had a tie for 10th place. Great Britain's Rose McGrandle tied with Germany's Sophia Griebel. Huge support here from the development squad of British Skeleton as Rose gets her run underway.
50 meters, Rose McGrandle, 5:29.
Rose had a decent run in the first heat. Bit of a mixed bag in training and pulled it together a little bit for the first heat.
Seemed to have good drive lines, but the speed wasn't quite there. The Blackrock sled, which is a British developed sled as well, very different from the Bromley that some of her teammates use. Of course, it's the sleds that were Olympic medal winners with Lizzie Arnold and Amy Williams.
Yeah, Rose is a very good slider and having a good season, and she's looking good on the top part of the track. Steering left.
Oh, late off telephone. Look good off.
Look good out of horseshoe.
Late onto telephone, maybe just didn't quite get the steer she wanted. What about the speed? She's just under 6/10 in front. 97.3 is decent speed at the bottom. She needs 133s. It's not quite there.
But she's still got a lot of time to play with.
How much further up the order can she climb with this clean run? 1:10.68, 1:11.16 her first heat. We saw our race leader applauding. That's Joske Leconte of the Netherlands. Rose McGrandle will move into the leader's box. But the next girl on the ice tied her exactly to the 100th in the first heat. Don't read jubilation in the body language.
Yeah, Rose looks a little bit frustrated with the run there. Nice line out of horseshoe. You really need to get into the next corner, allow it to get some height, and then turn the sled. And she just doesn't seem to get the height soon enough and turn it quick enough, and she's on the corner too long. Just flops off, and that's going to cost her a little bit of time at the bottom.
We had 130.
Sophia Griebel of Germany tied with Rose McGrandle. See across the front of her chin piece, she'll see the whole sponsor's name, and that was there at the beginning of the season. But Ben Sanford, that's been rubbed off where the chin grinds along the ice. That's how close you are to the ice with this sport.
Yeah, a lot of the athletes, when they're in a high-pressure corner, just lie the helmet on the ice, and the ice will scrape along the helmet, and any stickers that are on the helmet are going to disappear soon enough.
Well, sooner the helmet than your chin. 47.9, decent momentum in the first corner.
Rose McGrandle.
And this everlasting long straight down to the second corner at wall.
It's a better top section from her though. She's moving around a lot in the first run, moving around a little bit in the second run, but not as much. Nice line from Sunny to Nash.
In the red, behind Rose McGrandle at the moment.
Takes a late high line into horseshoe, taps out of horseshoe.
Better exit of Shamrock, 500s back and a little quicker than Rose McGrandle, the current leader.
Can she maintain it down the bottom though?
This to be in the top 10, 300s up. Rose 132.2 at the bottom. A lot of steering going on here. See the hips to ankles moving a lot. 131.9, not quite as quick. Will she hold on? Will she drop behind? Tucks her head down out to the airstream. 800ths of a second.
Sophia just holds on to the lead there.
And Ben, the speeds are so high here, you can feel a difference in air resistance, right, when you move your head.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You come out of Middlesex corner, which is the last right-hand corner. It's the steepest part of the track and the fastest part of the track, and it's one of the few places in the world in skeleton sliding where you can actually feel the wind resistance. Coming out of Nash Dixon, takes a late left-hand line into horseshoe, allows it to get that height close to the roof, and then steering down and out. Doesn't quite get it right, just taps a little bit here on the entrance to telephone. Makes a telephone call, as they say.
That was close.
Sophia Griebel leads from Rose McGrandle and Joske Leconte with 9 to go. 19-year-old Karina Meyer, the youngest in the field. What a great first run she had now. Again, looking for something big here from her.
Yeah, good day so far from Karina. A little bit of a tap there on the top of the straight. Nice and relaxed on the sled now.
Only 18th fastest starter, came down the ice 9th fastest. So that shows that it's all come from the drive.
Yeah, she's looking really comfortable on the sled. Steering a little bit there between the Exeter wall and the entrance to the snake curves. You really want to let the sled flow and steer as little as possible on the straights and St. Moritz. Do the steering in the corners and just allow it to run in the straights.
One of the smallest, slightest athletes. Pushes a little heavier sled. But by the time you load, your mass will be the same as everyone else. 98.1, best speed we've seen since Savannah Graybill, and that's 8 sleds ago.
Just eating away at that time.
Down from 2400s to 17. Speeds at the bottom, 133s, 133.7. Could still be close to the line. She's got to avoid the walls. Will she make it to the lead? She does.
Yeah, great work by Karina.
Guarantees her best World Cup result in her brief season so far, or her brief World Cup career so far, in her 5th race.
Really good day for Austria.
Not being in the top 10 in her career, she is now.
Martin Riddle, the coach at the top of the track, looked really happy. She's only 19 years old.
Yep.
The exit of Horseshoe Corner here has enough height, gets that steer, allows it to run into Telephone Corner. It's a tricky part of the track, and you have to get this right if you want to be fast through the bottom.
Well, she had better speeds everywhere on the track than her first heat, and that's what you want. Anja Huber-Selbach, in her final season on ice, the 2008 Women's Skeleton World Champion. 8th here on the podium last week at home in Koenigsegg. And Ben, we're watching her now in what will be her last minute and 10 seconds on ice in St. Moritz. And if Koenigsegg was emotional, then this probably will rank up close to that as well.
Anya's been a fantastic skeleton athlete over the years, and some fantastic results, and you really want to see Anya do well in her last shootout here in St. Moritz.
5.30, World Olympic medals under her belt, and such a great ambassador. Huge smile always from Anja Huber-Selbach.
Nice lines through the top of the track, nice and relaxed on the sled, and that's the sort of thing that you'd expect from Anya. So much experience.
And who knows, we go to Winterberg in Germany for the World Championships. Her final hurrah. Not beyond the bounds of possibility, she could be in the medals there as well. 4 runs, requires all the experience that she can bring to bear. Good exit. Telephone and Shamrock, pretty neat. Half a second up. Not great speed though.
Into the right-hand combination.
Gap is closing. Karina Meyer, 133.7. Anya in the first heat, only 132.6. 132.6 again, the gap will come down. Surely not enough for her to lose the lead here, though. 3600s at the last top becomes 27. She takes the lead from Meyer, who will be smiling all afternoon, you think, after a day like today.
Nice run by Anya.
Anja Huber-Selbach of Germany leads with 7 to go. That familiar shock of bright red hair and the big smile.
Bye-bye, St. Moritz.
It's always a sad day when you have to say goodbye to St. Moritz and you know you're not coming back here as an athlete.
Maybe she come back as a forerunner. He needs to talk nicely to the Swiss. Gregor Staley, the fastest Swiss man in the men's race. There's Mark Wood with white hair. World Cup and development sliders alike. Charting the progress of Olympic champion Lizzie Arnold. She's been in all of those positions. 5.26 getaway, faster than her first heat. And she's got things that she needs to tidy up to get within shooting distance of the medals.
She had a bad exit of Horseshoe in the first run, and we'll see in a moment here if she can clean it up in the second heat and pick up a few spots as a result.
2 race wins this season, a busy Lake Placid and busy Koenigsegg.
Looking good on the track so far. Nice line from Sunny into Nash and Dixon.
This is what Lizzie does best, remain quiet on the sled. Oh, big skid into Telephone. How much is that going to cost? Only 97 Ks, fastest have been close to 99 there.
She's flowing here through the right-hand corners. How much is that horseshoe exit going to affect her in this run?
132.9 here last run, 134.1, that's much quicker. Much better run from Lizzie Arnold, 4/10 up on Anja Huber-Selbach. New track record, 1:10.09. Okay, is that going to get her from 7th place into the medals? She was 4/10 of a second behind the leader. If she'd done that in the first run, she'd have led by 4/10. That's an 7/10 of a second improvement on her first heat, Ben.
This isn't perfect here in horseshoe. She doesn't have the best exit. Comes off horseshoe, skidding sideways. The back of her slid hits the take up to the next corner. She's lost some time there, but she's still gained a lot of time in the bottom of the track.
Happy birthday, Nan, for Sunday.
Lizzie Arnold, the Olympic champion, leads. Jane Channel of Canada, what a day she's had. First run, she hit a branch from a tree that was in the track. Took another first run, throwing away the first time, and it paid off. 6th fastest off a quicker start. Now, can she find another really electrifying run? She, like Lizzie Arnold, could be in the medals here for the first time ever in her short World Cup career.
It's a very unusual day when you get 3 runs at a World Cup race.
And the Canadians, all their funding was cut by the Own the Podium operation in Canada. And they are 4th, 5th and 6th in this World Cup race in St. Moritz.
1:10.09, 5:26.
Yeah, the Canadians really doing well so far today.
At the moment, you are first.
No branches in the track this time round.
Yep. No cats either.
28:58 to the center corner.
It is a slide through the forest here, and you do have to watch out for falling snow and branches on the track. That is something that can happen in St. Moritz, so that's part of the uniqueness of this track.
And rodents. Training was interrupted in the Europa Cup race by a mouse on the track.
Definitely don't want to hit a mouse on the track.
Yeah, roadkill in skeleton racing, that would be a first. 500ths of a second behind the Olympic champion. This is a really good run again from Jane Channel.
This is going to be really close.
Listen, win, lose or draw, she's had a memorable day here. This is a really nice run, 1:33.1. And she's going to be in 2nd place behind Lizzie Arnold. Dealey Boppers, nice job, Lizzie. They had Secret Santas last week, and that was somebody's Christmas present for Lizzie Arnold. My money's on Ed Smith.
Jane will be disappointed to lose a spot, but those are 2 good runs from Jane, or 3 good runs from Jane today.
3 good runs is right.
Not a lot of height in horseshoe, but she does it well. She gets the exit that she wants.
Head up there to look for telephone. She slides into 2nd spot with 5 to go. Lizzie Arnold of Great Britain, the Olympic champion, is our race leader. Still 5 more sleds to come here in St. Moritz. 3 Canadians in the top 6. Can they hold on? Lynette Prediger of Canada could challenge for the medals here. The accident and emergency physician with a really great run to be 5th in the first heat.
Lynette's been having a really good week here, just steering with her toe at the top of the track, trying to get that line down the middle of the track. Lynette's going to, the thing that she's going to rely on here is having that speed at the bottom of the track. Not the fastest starter, but she's a good slider, and she needs to be relaxed and calm on the sled, hit the stairs that she wants, and then at the bottom of the track is where she's really going to pick up the time.
She'll be the 2nd slowest starter in the field, but she's got that Marion Tweese ability, it seems here, to just dig speed out and load it onto the sled.
Yeah, and it's one of the things about enjoying the sliding and being comfortable on the track and with her equipment just flopping off telephone there a little bit.
But the speed, 99.7, way quicker than anybody else. She was behind into Martineau and ahead out of Portago, the very last corner. Can she do it again? Can she be in front of the Olympic champion? She already is. 1:35.9 is sensational speed. What a run from Lynette Prediger. A new track record, 1:10.03.
Wow, awesome work from Lynette. Really good sliding.
Well, I'm now going to find my men's skeleton results. That's insane speed. There can't have been more than 1 or 2 men that were as quick
Hi,
as
Mom,
that.
hi, Dad. Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday indeed. There's your present.
This is the launch pad for Lynette. She's nice and high in horseshoe, gets that stare off, and she's just so fast in the bottom of the track.
Only a couple of men manage better speeds. Wow. Lynette Prediger leads for Canada. Elizabeth Vache next for Canada. Are you watching back home? Vache, a race winner in Calgary in December. Can she get in the medals here in St. Moritz? Answer, yes, she can. But will she? What a start as well. 5:25 in the first heat, 5:19 in the second.
Elizabeth Waite. Elizabeth Waite, Canada.
Looking good at the top.
Hello,
Nice
Lynette.
start,
Lynette
nice and relaxed
Prediger. Your
in the
time,
straights at the top of the track.
5:14,
Just allowing that sled to run.
1:10:03. Your first
Good line into the snake curves.
She had 4/10 of a kilometre more speed into the first speed track than she did in her first heat. 7/10 up on Lynette Prediger of Canada, her teammate. Well, she was concussed in Altenburg, didn't compete last week, sat in the booth with me. 98.2, good speed, not quite the same as Prediger.
Now, this is a good smooth run.
4700 up. We could be down almost into single figures. Lynette, 1:35.9. Elizabeth, 1:34, second fastest. And at the line, she leads by 2/10 of a second. 1:09.90, another track record for Canada.
Just track record after track record.
Well, Calgary is their home track. Vancouver is their home track.
Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy. I don't know. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Kristen. Congrats.
And now, St. Moritz is their home track. Look at this girl go.
Good leg drive in the push. Nice load onto the sled.
Wow.
Into position quickly and into the first kink. A nice line through the top of the track.
Look at the excitement, and rightly so for the Canadian girls. 1-2 with 3 to go. 500ths of a second covered our top 3 athletes in the first of our 2 heats here in St. Moritz. A blink of an eye, and that will decide the medals. Third fastest, Laura Dees of Great Britain. If any of our top 3 win, it'll be a first ever World Cup win for them. Silver medalist already this season, Laura. Can she go 1 step higher?
This race is just so close. Any mistake is going to cost you
Your
positions
time,
now.
Well, there's so many reasons why this is a classic track. The history, the nature of the track, and also, like all classic racetracks, because it throws up brilliantly exciting races.
Laura's looking good through the top of the track. Nice lines through the corners, allowing the sled to run in the straights.
Fastest speed so far. The steering in the horseshoe.
Bit of a flop off telephone. We've seen that quite a lot today.
Not the fastest speed we've seen so far. A little quicker than her first run, though.
Can she hold that lead? It's ever so narrow.
Slender margin, only 500ths in front of Elizabeth Vache. 1:32.2 last run, 1:33.2 this run. Still a little behind the Canadians. She needs a track record to take the lead at the line, and she's not got it. 1:10.13, Vache leads and is in the medals again. She's had a silver and a gold so far this year, guaranteed at least a bronze, Elizabeth Vache. And Laura carries speed all the way through the finish.
Oh, a nasty hit into the pads there. Coming off horseshoe, gets really early onto telephone and just flops off the end a little bit there. And that's going to cost her a 10th at the bottom of the track.
But their speed was good. Now then, second after the first heat, 400ths of a second off the lead is the winless Tina Herman. World Cup rookie this season. She's been carrying the World Cup leader's yellow vest pretty much since Christmas. but she has not won a race yet. This is the one track where her 5:38 start doesn't cripple her and relegate her to the bottom of the top 10.
Yeah, she's had a few troubles there on the top of the track, just touching the wall and using her toes a little bit. She's going to have to drive well now and build that speed and build that momentum to pick up the time at the bottom of the track.
And with these runs, it could all change out of the final corner. Half a second back. Now, has the track moved away from the runners that she's chosen as it's warmed up and sped up? Still half a second back. Can she come back? 99.5, good speed.
Nice line from Horseshoe into Telephone. She's looking good through this part of the track.
Got to have a track record to win it. Has got to have a track record to win it. She needs to be inside 109.90. 3/10 away. She's going to drop out of the podium positions. Laura Dees is back in the medal. She drops to 4th. That's tough. Elizabeth Varche is still in the lead with 1 to go.
Great day for Elizabeth.
Great day for Elizabeth Varche. Canadians 1st and 3rd and 6th at the moment with 1 more sled to go. Tina Hermann can't hold on for her first World Cup win.
Yeah, just at the top of the track here, Tina had a few problems. She comes out of the first kink and she's trying to get the sled in the middle of the track, but it's just not going where she wants, and she's stuck on that right-hand wall. And
well, she will, I'm sure, hold the World Cup lead after this race. So Laura Dees couldn't hold on for her first win. Tina Hermann couldn't hold on for her first win. Janine Flock of Austria, we're watching you. Martin Rettel keeping the sled moving, so there's no chance of frost on those Bromley runners. What an emotional day for all of Austrian skeleton sliding this is going to be if Janine Flock can claim a win here in St. Moritz. 5:27 getaway, 400s than her first, better than her first slide, and good momentum in the first corner as well.
Her coach Martin Rettel would be the last Austrian slider to win a World Cup.
Well, Elizabeth Varche was 1,300 behind in the first heat. That is Janine's advantage.
Janine's a good slider. She likes the track here. Looking smooth through the top part section.
She's been so consistent these last 2 seasons. Come on, Janine, it's in there somewhere. She's got the lead. 300s, 98.3. Quicker than Elizabeth Varche, the current leader.
She's going to have to get these corners around the right-hand corners here. She's going to have to get these right.
600ths of a second. Varche speed, 1:34.0 for a track record 1:09.90. 1:34.3. If she avoids the wall between Martinez and Portago, she will win her first ever World Cup gold medal.
Awesome racing from Janine. Martin Rettel, the coach, over the moon.
400ths of a second away from the track record of Elizabeth Varche. Janine Flock claims her first ever World Cup win.
Fantastic day. First World Cup win. What a feeling.
And she has been so consistent over the last 18 months that the nerves did not come to haunt her. The reigning European champion in women's skeleton is our 4th different race winner of the season.
What a place to win your first World Cup here in St. Moritz, the home of sliding.
Oh, that big smile is going to be splitting her face for days to come. All the pressure, no advantage worthy of the name to play with. Janine Flock last had to wait for everybody else to do their best, saw all the changes going on, and then somehow had to put it all out of her mind and drive this track as well as she ever has.
She stayed relaxed, she nailed the stairs, and she won.
Did what she had to do, just as she would have done in training. But training isn't racing, and training doesn't get you the gold medal. Janine Flock, Elizabeth Vache and Laura Dees on the podium. Lynette Prediger, Tina Hermann and Lizzie Arnold round out the top 6. Good day for Austria with Karina Meyer in 9th place. Good day for Canada with all their athletes in the top 7. What a race in St. Moritz. Well, it is true of all great racetracks in any form of racing, they throw up great results. Ben Sanford getting any kind of a medal in St. Moritz makes you feel that you're carrying the mantle on that was started 100 and odd years ago, right?
It really does. This is the home of sliding. The Cresta track's just over the road. You can go watch the Cresta sliders flying at a shuttlecock, and you come here to St. Moritz, you feel that history. You feel like you're part of that history. And the track is just so beautiful to slide on here. It's so smooth, it's so quiet, and when everything's going right like it did for Janine, it just feels great.
And the direct link is not some fabrication. It is absolutely literal, because they race skeleton versions of the original Cresta run skeleton sleds on their run as well. So the kit has just developed over the last century, and we're in the same valley, share the same ice and snow with them. Well, what a day for Janine Flock. What a great day for Austria as well. Karina Meyer really outperformed her previous World Cup performances with 9th place as well. And that will move Janine Flock a little closer. Might even just help her overhaul Sophia Griebel. Where did Griebel finish? In 10th place. So they were pretty close for 2nd in the World Cup rankings. So Janine Flock having another standout season.
Also a really good day for the Canadian sliders today.
Of course, we go next week to La Plagne, France, another classic track, and that's the European Championships. Janine, off gold here in St. Moritz, will go to defend her European crown. Don't think she'll be feeling much pain when she gets to France, will she? She'll be in fine form. The beautiful Swiss Alps all around us. We're in the Engadine Valley in St. Moritz. Tina Hermann, the World Cup leader. Victory for the first time in her World Cup career for Janine Flock. Moves her into 2nd in the standings, ahead of Sophia Griebel and Anja Huber-Selbach. Lizzie Arnold in 6th position here, moves up the order. So does Laura Dees, who took the bronze medal. They're now 5th and 6th ahead of teammate Rose McGrandle, and Canada's Lynette Prediger in 8th spot in the World Cup rankings. Elizabeth Vache on the podium here, moves up to the top 10 ahead of 19-year-old Austrian Karina Meyer, who's had another standout day here. Well, what an exciting race it was. The champagne, the bubbles will bubble even more vigorously here at nearly 2,000 meters above sea level. Laura Dees draped in the Union flag, Elizabeth Vache, and our first-time race winner from Austria, Janine Flock. Some very big smiles on that podium, and rightly so. Well, Ben Sanford, Janine Flock did everything she needed to do, but you could hardly say that it lacked pressure, did it?
Yeah, a lot of pressure. First after the first heat, she comes out sliding last in the 2nd heat, and she just lays down a great run. Nice and smooth on the track, good height and horseshoe, good push at the start. Again, like she was just on her game today and made things look easy and handled that pressure so well.
Well, there are days when the sport, like golf, is your worst enemy, and there are days when it's your best friend. And that is one of those days for Janine Flock. The Austrian wins her first ever race. She's our 4th different race winner this season. And a great performance for her here in St. Moritz. She moves up to 2nd in the World Cup rankings. Well, let's get down to hear from our happy top 3. John Morgan is with them.
Okay, Laura Dees, your 2nd medal of the season, but you had the great start, the great drive down the track. Everything clicked for you today.
Yeah, I've had a really good training week. I've just been really enjoying the track. It's just an amazing place to slide, and it's a long time since I was last here, so I was just trying to get back into it, feel what was going on, and just really enjoy it. So yeah, it's been a great week.
Enjoy the moment. Congratulations. Now, Elizabeth, last week you're doing commentary with us. You couldn't compete this week. Boy, did you have some speed in the bottom.
Yeah, thank you. It was great to be back sliding. I missed sliding, and it was so nice to be back.
D's delighted with third place there as well. Two young athletes still on their upward trajectory. Lynette Prediger, Tina Herman and Lizzie Arnold rounding out the top.